Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name Damilola, but you can call me Da Fresh. And I welcome you to tonight's edition of Design Charts. Like you already know, Design Charts is a bi weekly webinar that holds here on the Design Beyond Art community. Design Beyond Art community is a community of designers helping designers grow. We basically teach design from problem solving perspective by preaching the idea of design beyond the surface of art. And tonight we are talking about effective communication with clients. Effective communication with clients. Um, for many times we teach designers many things. First of all, they get to learn how to become good designers, how to get good at what they do. Secondly, they get to learn how to attract clients and what's it called? One of the questions that I get asked a lot by designers is how to attract high paying clients and all of that. But sometimes I kind of feel like it's not always just about attracting high paying clients, right? Can you keep high paying clients? For you to become successful as a designer, you don't need a lot of clients, right? You only need a couple few clients, just a handful of clients that you can build good relationship with. And if you're going to build good relationship with your client, then it means you need to be good at communication. You guys need to be able to understand each other, and at the same time also having to even seal a deal with a client, kind of converting lead to actual clients, right? It takes some level of understanding and trust earned by the client, you know um and some of these things lies in how well you can communicate, right? What's it called? One of the things that differentiates professionals from amateurs also is how effectively can you communicate with your clients. And this all of this is very important to your growth and your success as a designer, either either as a freelancer, as an agency owner, or as even if you are working in an agency or wherever, you need to be able to communicate effectively with either your boss or your team members, right? And all of these things will contribute to your growth in that organization as well. So, which is one of the reasons why we have brought our guest tonight, the person of Mr. Simon Matthew. Mr. Simon Ojonugwa Matthew. He is a paint professional, is a graphic designer, and award-winning writer of over 14 books. Like he has authored over 14 books in the course of his writing career, if that is right. He is a certified coach, an ambassador, and a mentor. He is the founder of Limitless 87 Academy, a subsidiary of Limitless Technology Global Service, an academy that trains both individual and corporate bodies, people on podcasting, graphic design, professional writing, book authorship, professional painting, wallpaper installation, among others. He is the convener of Skills Festival Africa, an event that empowers people with hands on skills. He is passionate about helping people live life according to divine design in order for them to live the limitless life. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas, please make welcome Mr. Simon Matthew. So you guys, you know how we do it, yeah? You know how we do it. Make some noise. Make some noise.
Welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Uh, Thank you very much, Dafred, for the opportunity to be in your midst. And when I got the invitation, I felt really honored to be speaking to especially young minds. And interestingly, most of which are creatives, like we like to address ourselves as, because I know that some of you here do beyond just graphic design, do other thing that has to do with creativity, and so I am really really grateful for this opportunity. I hope everybody can hear me, please. If you can hear me loud and clear, please
Can you hear him?
indicate
Please
that you can
kindly
hear me.
indicate that in the chat. If you can hear him loud and clear, I can hear you, sir. So let's
All
just
right, thank
see
you.
one or two more people to confirm that. All right, loud and clear.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Doctor said you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much. This topic, oh, thank you very much, Praise. Thank you very much, Wamko. Thank you very much. I think everything lost you. Wow, that's a powerful name. All right, so this subject is one subject that is very, very important. And interestingly, it's a subject that I have actually, I think in another fora, I have more like treated it, but not in the way that I would be addressing it tonight, because between that time and now, I've been able to also gather more information, which would also help us in the course of doing this. And the class is going to be somewhat interactive, and there's going to be somewhat interactive. So at some point, I may be throwing a question at you, and please, you can do well to just unmute and give answers to them. Then, towards the end of my presentation, I would also be giving room for you to ask a question, because, like, as a trainer, the essence of teaching is to impart knowledge. All right, and you'll be able to gauge if people really understood what you have taught them by the kinds of questions that they would ask. So to get ready, you'll be doing some questioning, as it will be given the opportunity to ask a question. Okay, effective communication. Effective communication. Now, I want you to know that communication is very, very important. Communication is very, very important. Communication is very, very important. In fact, I make bold to say that what you are going to get as the result, what you're going to get at the end of any kind of transaction with your client is largely determined by the quality of communication that that transpires between you and your client. Let me repeat that again. What you are going to get, what you are going to get at the end of any transaction with your client is largely determined by the quality of communication that that must have transpired between you and your client. And so it's very important for you to understand. That's why I like the word that was used to qualify the communication. Effective, something effective, meaning that something that will yield results, something that will yield results. Now, the whole essence of doing this tonight is to be able to help you know how best to communicate, how best to engage engage with your clients when it comes to effective or result-oriented communication. Now, it is very important that you have this at the back of your mind. You understand? So, um, communication, communication with clients, or client communication, simply happens between a business and its clients. A business and its client, and you'd understand why I didn't use the word an individual, but I used the word business. I would shed more light on that. So it's very important. So what then is even communication, if you may ask? Let's even go back to the basics. What then is even communication? Communication is simply the art of sending and receiving information. Sending and receiving information. Sending and receiving information. And like we're taught in a communication class, we must understand that communication is a two-way traffic. It's a two-way traffic, meaning that there is the sender and there is the receiver. You understand? There is a sender and there is a receiver. Now, until until the receiver understands, let me use a more complicated word. Until the receiver decodes what the message is that is being sent, until they are able to decode it and respond appropriately, communication cannot be said to have happened. Communication cannot be said to have happened. Simply put, now I am making a presentation right now. Now, until you, on the other hand, I am the receiver on this side of the device. Until you, on the other side, who is the receiver, understands what my message is, and you are able to respond appropriately. Maybe when I ask a question and you respond appropriately, or you give an answer that's appropriate to the question asked. Communication cannot be said to have taken place. Now, in my years of doing business generally, because aside designing, I do other businesses. All right, in my years of doing business, I've come to realize that one of the major challenges that we have, especially as creatives, is the fact that we don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to communicate. That's why I was really excited when Mr. Dafresh invited me to come and treat this very, very important. Now, I'm able to say that the clearer the messages. I'm using the word messages because, of course, communication will require that you do a back and forth uh, with your clients. All right, back and forth in a positive sense. Until the clearer the message, the better the understanding, and the better the understanding, the better the delivery. Let me say that again. The clearer the message, the clearer the message, the better the understanding. If you want your client to understand what you are talking about, you need to be as clear as possible with the message you are sending. You need to be as clear as possible with the message. The clearer the message, the better the understanding. And now, the better the understanding, the better the delivery. The better the delivery. If your client, on the other hand, is not feeding you with the right information, like as a graphic designer, for example, there's what is called the client brief. The client brief is that information that the client gives you about the job that they would want or the project they would want you to help them handle. Now, if that brief, that document, or that information is not as clear as possible, chances are that you may not be able to come up or handle the project like 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 they would have loved you to handle it. Like they would have loved you to handle it. For example, a client wants a flyer to be designed for them, wants a flyer designed, and they decide, and they now, maybe they want is for, let's say, a church program, because of course we get a lot of church programs flyers being done week in, week out. And so if the person now decides, okay, maybe the purpose, maybe the program is about maybe a women event that is coming up, a women program that is coming up. And now the client, in his or her brief, or in their brief, they didn't clearly tell you first what the program is about, to the key details, like maybe if they are going to be featuring certain guest speakers, they didn't give you the information about those guest speakers, or they didn't give you the information about the title of the program and all of that. By the time you come up with a design, the design what may not be able to reflect the intention or the desire of that of those particular clients. The reason is that they didn't communicate from the beginning the the correct or the clear message that they ought to communicate. You can see how powerful communication is. So it is very important. The clearer your message, the better the understanding, and the better the understanding on your part, the better the delivery. It's very, very important. There are so many jobs today. I believe that maybe some of you have been involved in certain jobs that, because the communication wasn't clear, you ended up with jobs that were being rejected, or you ended up with jobs that you are that the what do you call it now? The maybe the corrections that are to be made. It's like you starting the job or like you designing the job all over again. I don't know if anybody has experienced that before. If I have a witness in the house, if you have experienced
Yeah.
that kind of thing before,
Have you
just let me know.
experienced unlimited revisions before?
If
Unlimited
you have experienced
unlimited revisions,
when you have to repeat,
and
repeat.
all that.
All right.
Yeah.
So, so it's very important that you know that. All right. So I've already established the fact that communication is a two-way thing, and so the sender needs to send a clearer message for the receiver to understand and to be able to respond appropriately. All right, appropriately. A very simple test you can do is if a very simple test you can do is when communicating with a client. All right, when communicating with a client, gauge the kinds of response they are giving you. The kinds of response they are giving you will determine if you're actually sending the right message across or not. It's very important. Now, let's look at there are various ways or various mediums through which a business can communicate. There are various means or ways through which a business can communicate, especially in this our time. All right, there are various mediums or various means through which a communication can be or could be made. Communication could be made through WhatsApp chat. All right, communication could be made through WhatsApp chat. Communication could also be made through Facebook Messenger. Communication could also be made through email. Communications could also be made through phone calls. Communication could also be made through text messages, sending text message. Communication could also be made through handwritten note or type or a letter that is typed and maybe sent via the post office. Communication can also be made through video call. You understand? Like what we are doing right now is a form of communication. We are communicating. All right. I am sending the message across, and you on the other side are receiving it, and you are answering and you are supplying the appropriate answers. There are several of them. I decided to itemize this because what we used to know in the past is that your communication should be via email. You need to want to send invoice, you will now send it via email. But do you know that you can actually send an invoice? An invoice, do you know that you can send invoice via you can send that right now via WhatsApp. You can do that. In fact, there are there are various applications out there that can help you come up with a receipt or with an invoice where you can just put in the details of whatever job it is and send it via WhatsApp. You understand? The world has advanced. So don't limit yourself to say that, okay, it must be via email. You understand? Via email. Because I know that some people will tell you, well, email makes it professional. But the truth of the matter is that there are instances where your clients don't really care about whether or not you are being professional or not. You understand? And I'm going to talk about that briefly. But before I do that, let me talk about the forms of communication. All right, the forms of communication or the purposes. Communication. There are various purposes, various reasons for communication. Now, the reason for whatever communication that you're trying to make or you're trying to get involved in will determine how you are going to make them, will determine how you're going to make them. For example, you get involved with when it comes to issue of dealing with clients, dealing with customers and the rest of that as a business. All right. Sometimes you involved in what is called publicity. Publicity is a form of communication. Publicity is a form of communication. And how does it work? It is simply you it is simply you putting words out there about your business or about a particular feature that you just introduced or about a particular product that you just introduced. Publicity is a form of communication. Now, how do you then put together your publicity? How to put together an effective and how to put together an effective publicity or an effective awareness campaign is to ensure that you project the key messages, the key things you want people to know. Number one, One of the features that you must have when you are trying to do your publicity should be that you clearly state you clearly state what the feature is about. You clearly state what the feature is about. You clearly, of course, for the purpose of branding, you should the name of your business should of course be in that communication material. Is very important. Then how can people take advantage of that particular product should also be there. You understand? The clearer the message, the better, or the better your chances of getting patronized, or the better your chances of getting conversion. It's very, very important. Other forms of communication also mean pitching, can also be pitching. Pitching means you you are given the opportunity to talk about your business. You understand? To talk about your business before potential investors. Before potential investors, we are given an opportunity to come and talk about your business, maybe for 5 minutes, and you talk about your business, and you are going to present it in a way that would attract them, in a way that would convince them enough to want to come and invest. You understand? There is a way you do that. There's a way to go about such kind of communication. Aside that, also even negotiating too is a form of communication. Negotiating is a form of communicating where you and your clients are maybe talking about, okay, this is the project that I want you to do. Okay, how much will it cost me? All of that communication. It's very, very. It's also a form of communication. What about customer service? Customer service is a form of communication. All right, customer service is a form of communication. What about progress report? Progress report. All right, progress report is a form of communication. Progress report. Maybe the project has started. Maybe because your pitch was good, they gave they gave your company or your firm the project to handle. All right, and once in a while you are required to maybe meet. You are required to meet with the organization's leadership to give them a sort of briefing or presentation on how the project is going. That is also another form of another form of communication. Aside that, also it's a business, and once in a while you may run into conflict. So um conflict resolution too is a form of communication in business, and these are the things you can't avoid. These are the things you can't avoid. Maybe a customer made a nasty remark about your product or about your business. All right. How you address that too. There are techniques to doing that. So there are loads and loads of other forms or purposes of communication. But permit me to just leave it here. Now let's go back to the ways or the mediums. I deliberately highlighted WhatsApp chat, Facebook Messenger, email, phone calls, text message, handwritten, and the rest of that. I didn't just mention email and I leave it at that. The reason is because the form of communication that you are going to use, that you're going to apply part time for a client, is determined by their level of exposure. That is one, or is determined by what they are open to or what they are used to. There are some people, like for example, if you are dealing with an individual, if you are dealing with an individual as a client, um, maybe the person it will shock you that in this time and age, or in this day and age, there are people who don't have email addresses. All right, so that kind of person using email to communicate with them may not be effective. So because we're talking about effective communication, so what you may now then do is to employ maybe a WhatsApp kind of using the medium of using WhatsApp as a medium of communication, as a means of communication, or you may decide to use phone call as a means of communication, or text messages as a means of communication. So you need to be flexible with your options. You need to know as many options as possible, because it is different strokes for different folks. Very, very important. Then when we talk about communication, I want you to understand that it is also key. It's also key to getting. closing and delivering a job. If you want to get certain deals, you need to master the art of communicating, communicating properly, communicating effectively. It is very, very,
Sorry.
very important. Now, when we talk about communication,
Yeah.
there is
Sorry.
what is called the verbal.
Sorry. Please. Sorry to cut you, sir. Guys, are you
Okay,
guys taking notes? Are you guys taking notes? Because these are highly valuable. What's it called? Information. And there is something that just came to my mind that I wanted to tell everybody in the community also that I think it will make a lot of sense for you guys to kind of always take notes of our sessions. Like, even if you cannot take notes now, like, go back and watch the replay and take your notes. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to send a form maybe after this section. I'm going to post a form in the group. So every note you make, just go and submit it on that form. There is something you are going to do with that information. Like as many times as possible, just indicate the session, indicate what the note is for, just and put your notes there. Don't worry, the form will carry the necessary this thing, right? So you guys should always try and make notes. I believe making notes will help you extract the important knowledge from the important lessons actually from everything that you are being taught. So I just want to put that there. And also I want to know, are you guys feeling the class? Because I myself, you can see I just kept quiet since I'm just assimilating all the information. Are you guys feeling it like I'm feeling it? You are feeling it, yeah? Everything lofty. Okay. All right, beautiful. All right, you can carry on, sir.
all right. Thank you very much. I hope I'm not too fast. I have a lot of information I need to pass across,
No,
and this information would help. So please,
you
as
are
much
doing
as you
well,
can,
sir.
uh, follow me. All right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Like I mentioned, when it comes to especially with physical meetings, with physical or virtual meetings, when I talk about virtual meetings, I'm talking about meetings where you maybe the means of communication or the means that will be used would be video in nature, right? There are two forms or of two kinds of or two yeah two kinds of communication. We have the verbal communication and we have the non-verbal. We have the verbal communication, we have the non-verbal communication. And these two are very, very important. These two are very, very important. The verbal is the one that you use words. You use words. And the non-verbal is the one that you don't use words, but you use maybe gesture, your facial, how you, your, the expression on your face, or your, like we would say, the body language. The body language. These things are important. All right. These things are important. Imagine, for example, just imagine that, that maybe I just appear and I'm looking all moody and I am before let's say you are maybe let's say you are like a panel on the other side. You understand? And I am here to pitch my business or to pitch the what I'm proposing to you or my business to you. Maybe you are on the other side, the judges, and amongst you are potential investors. Let's say all of you are potential investors, and I just came in and I'm looking all moody. All right, I'm looking all moody, all sad, and all that. Now, now whatever it is I'm going to be saying, the expression on my face may may cause a sort of distraction, and this is where some people miss it. So whatever it is that is disturbing you, so long as you are going to make an appearance, there is need for you to put those things aside. I know that thank God most of us, all of us are Nigerians, all right. I know that the issues facing us is crazy. You understand? But as much as you can, don't wear those issues on your face when you are to make
Don't
appearance
don't
before
look like your
your potential.
struggles. Don't look like your
Thank you very
struggle.
much. Don't look like your struggles or don't look like the problem of Nigeria. Don't look like the problem of Nigeria. You need to keep that aside because the truth of the matter is that The people you are appearing before are not interested in whatever it is you are going through. What they're interested in is what you have got to tell them. And please, if you are telling them those things, put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face. Who knows that the smile on your face is what would further convince them that what you are telling them is real. And the truth of the matter is that your body language will show what is called enthusiasm. And the way the kind of enthusiasm you express will show if what you are telling them is good enough. Is good enough. Because if what you are saying is not agreeing with your body language, there are some people that may not even be bothered about all of the things you are saying. They may just be watching your body language. May just be watching your body language. If your body language is not good enough, they may decide to turn you down. Another very important thing talking about nonverbal is your appearance. Your appearance too is very, very important. You may want to say, what does appearance has to do with communication? It communicates. It communicates. It communicates. Your appearance too is very important. You want to appear smart. You want to appear smart. Now, I'm not saying that you must look expensive or you must go and borrow and all of that. Just look real, but look smart. Look smart. Look smart. Because you're appearing before people who maybe want to give you a multi-million-dollar business and you are looking haggard, you are looking shabby. That may be a red flag for them. Some of them, because of the way you appear, they may feel that if we give this person this job, the person will run away with our money. You want to appear smart. You want to appear sharp. Whether you are going to be doing that virtually or you're going to be doing that in person, ensure that you appear smart. You appear well. Look good. Look good. It's very, very important. In the case of virtual, in the case of virtual, you want to ensure that all of your the background is void of any form of distraction. Any form of distraction, you want to avoid that. This is communication. Everything you are saying is important. The kind of gestures you make, they are also important. If you make the wrong gesture, you may cause distraction. You may cause distraction, especially for some of us who are very, very picky and who are very observant. When you are saying one thing and your language, your body language is saying another thing, it may distract us in the process. So you want to ensure that everything is in harmony. Even the kind of clothes you wear, you want to ensure that what is inscribed on it is not something offensive. Preferably, if you are going to make such presentation, if you have a branded shirt in your that is in your business branded shirt or maybe whatever, put that on. Put that on. That speaks to branding. You understand? If perhaps it is being recorded, what will happen is that that particular that branding or that name that you are projecting with what you're putting on would go far, and somebody may even decide to patronize you as a result of that. So you want to ensure that you do everything that is void of distraction so that you don't lose those you are communicating with in the process. It is very, very important. Now, I have about 8 rules for effective client communication. 8 rules for effective client communication. I'll just quickly go through them. All right. Number one is that speak as a business. Excuse me. Speak as a business and not an individual. Speak as a business and not an individual. For example, if I am to do a presentation as a business, what I would use languages like, I would say something like, my name is Simon Matthew. All right, my name is Simon Matthew, and I am the lead trainer for Limitless 87 Academy. All right, Limitless 87 Academy, and I am here on the behalf of Limitless 87 Academy to present you with this. So what I have succeeded in doing is that I am not coming as an individual, but I am coming as an entity, a business entity. Because what people want to deal with entities and not individuals. And it also helps for your branding. It helps for your branding. Now you may want to then say, Simon, well, I am just a freelancer, I am a one-man business. Even if you're a one-man business, even if you are the creative director, you are the accountant, you are the chief marketing officer of your business, you are the all and all of your business, please learn to speak as a business and not as an individual. It is very, very important. Rule number two: document all communications and agreements. Whether it is done, if it is done via WhatsApp, that's fantastic. If it is done via text, that's fantastic. If it is done via email, that's fantastic. But if it is done via video or via physical meeting and all of those things, please document whatever it is that you guys have agreed upon. Document all that you have agreed upon. See, I have seen a lot of issues. I've seen a lot of, even what is even documented, some people would even contest it. You understand? Let alone that you don't even have any document to make reference to. It is dangerous. Like if a client is giving you their brief, learn to document those things down. If they are giving you a brief for a flyer, document the key things, the key features that would be on the flyer. If possible, write down how much it will cost and all of the other things. Please document, write those things down. They are very, very important. They are very, very important because should 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 things go south, you understand? Should things degenerate to something else, you can present those documents in the court and it will be accepted as an evidence. You understand? So it is very, very important. It is very, very important. Number three rule is that seek clarity where you are not clear. Seek clarity where you're not clear. Please stop assuming. Don't assume. Don't assume that, oh, they meant covenant keeping God when they actually meant covenant keeper. Please don't assume. Learn to ask questions where you are not clear. I want you to know that just one wrong assumption can can soil the whole project. So please and please, as much as you can, seek clarity to understand. Seek to understand. Very important. Aside that, also number three rule is ask. Okay, number four rule is ask as much questions as possible. You understand? And the essence of your asking should be to understand. Should be to understand. So please ask as much question as possible. And once you're done asking those questions, please take them through the take them through those questions. Take them through the answers that they've supplied. You understand? So that you guys can be on the same page. It's very, very important. Then number five, avoid the use of technical jargons when you are dealing with your clients. You understand? Avoid such kinds of things. Don't bore them with all of that. Unless unless the people you are dealing with are a bit maybe technically inclined, then you can now use certain lingua for them. Otherwise, please avoid those things. And where you must use certain technical jargons, what I mean by jargons is certain technical language, design language.
Yeah, what
You
you're
understand?
what
Design
you are
language.
saying is a
Yeah,
very important thing that I think we need to pay attention to. Yeah, what's it
that's
called?
right.
Many of us, we are so soaked into the vocabularies of our industry, and then we forget that
That's right.
sometimes our clients don't even understand whatever is going on in our industry. I have
And
had
they don't
this
even
issue.
care.
I had an issue way back with a particular client. I was talking about your branding, your this one, and Kinikon, your brand collaterals and all that. And the lady
Uh-huh.
was like, collateral, wow. What is
Uh-huh.
kilo kan collateral pẹ̀lú kilo orúkọ ẹ̀? And I was like, no, 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 that's not what I mean. I mean
Uh-huh.
your brand elements and all of those things and all that. So
Uh-huh.
like
So
I really did have a lot of issues with that client because they just don't get to understand the the
what you're saying,
the vocabularies. So what I had to
that's right.
then do is start to find a very simple and easy way to make them understand the things I'm saying and all that,
That's
you know.
right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
that's a very
Fantastic.
important one that
Fantastic.
we need to note.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for that input. Right. So it is important, and where you must use those those vocabularies or those language, please explain it to them. Explain to them. Like personally, what I do is if I create a brand identity, that's a logo, for example. If I create a logo, for example, I what I do, I take the pain of explaining the logo to the client. I take the pain of explaining. Sometimes I get on the phone call with them and I try and I explain that. I know that some people they do that with maybe certain designs explaining those things. But I've come to realize that it is becoming like a fashion, like something that almost everybody now does. But the truth of the matter is that you need for a communication to be effective, you need to customize it. I don't know if anybody heard that. For a communication to be effective with your clients, you need to customize the communication to suit a client pattern. For some persons, for some sophisticated clients, they may enjoy all of those explanations on paper, whereas for others, they don't care. What they care about is, oh, my logo, and whatever it is that you're trying to explain is none of their business. How many of them can even read or write? How many of them are patient enough to even read through? You'll see somebody will create a logo and they will do like a 10, 20 pages explanation. In as much as that is good and professional, but how effective is that? So what we want to do is, even if you are going to be submitting that, also get on the call with them, maybe schedule a meeting with them and explain those things to them in the language that they understand. If some of them will understand your language, please speak the language. Don't bore them with too many vocabularies that would just turn them off. And that's the reason why some of us we lose jobs. We lose jobs because the client is not understanding what we're saying. The client is not getting it, and because they're not getting it, they don't want to on something that they don't understand. So most clients want to make informed decisions. Even with you that listen to me right now, I believe that you want to make informed decisions. You understand? Whatever decision you want to make, you want to ensure that yes, I understood what I am entering into. That's why I entered into it. All right. So it is very important. So aside that, also, my rule number 6 is that where the client's choice won't work, please kindly and politely decline. Kindly and politely a strong or with strong reasons. With strong reasons. Craze right now. I think it's beginning to die now. The issue of 3D logo. I don't know if many of you have heard it. 3D logo. To me, there's nothing like 3D logo. It is the presentation, the rendition in 3D that is a rendition, is a mock-up. There's no such thing as a
So
3D logo or a 2D
so
logo or
actually
whatever D logo.
actually
You
the
understand?
thing
So
actually the truth is, yeah, there's actually a 3D logo, right? Because when you create a
okay.
logo, you can then, what's it called, create a 3D version of that logo. But the problem is that people are using mockup and they are calling it 3D logo. That is the problem. And now
That's what
so
that's
so
what that's what we're saying.
so so many people now, so we now have many people out there, clients, who believe this mockup to be 3D logo. So a client will now come and meet you
A
and
3D logo.
say, I want 3D logo. Whereas what they are talking about is a mockup. So exactly. So it takes
A mock-up. Thank you
professionalism
very much. So
to be able to explain that to them.
mhm, that's what we're talking about. Now, somebody now would now want to will meet you and tell you, I want you to design a letterhead for me, and I want you to carry that 3D rendition and drop and impose on that
Those people
on
are
that particular.
cultists. Those designers sef, they are
You
cultists.
said?
Those designers, they are cultists. We
You
suppose sue
understand?
them. We
So
suppose sue those designers.
so you can imagine that kind of thing. So You need to politely decline. I am playing. It's explain to them that no, hey, this is not how things are done. Are you getting my point? This is not how things are done. It's very, very important. This is not how things are done. Now, there's one other thing that I also see, which is really crazy. You see that somebody would have they still call it 3D logo. It's a 3D rendition. But what they now do is they put the details of what they do, the product or the service that they offer. Then they now have their WhatsApp
Their
number
number,
and even
address, email
social media
address,
address and everything,
location
and they call
address.
all of those things a logo, and they call it a logo. That's crazy.
I know,
You
right?
understand? So you
We
may
have
need to
talked this
explain.
over and
You
over.
Yes, thank you very much. Everything love to say, even image. I've seen the one with image before, and they will tell you that this is a logo. And a client who does not know, who just sees those things, and the thing is that it's becoming like the norm, and people are selling those things. So some will come and some will meet you and tell you, this is what I want. They will first of all tell you, I need a 3D logo. And you try, if you, in trying to interview them to understand what they're talking about, before you know, they just screenshot that and come and show you that this is what they meant. You understand? So what you may then want to do is to explain to them, is to explain to them, is to explain to them. And please, please, and please, where they are not ready to listen to the voice of reasoning, walk away. I know that walking away is one of the most difficult things for I have seen that people do. People find it difficult to walk away from certain jobs. But see, you need to master the art of walking away. You understand? One, for your sanity's sake, you need to walk away. Because one, you're doing a job you're not even happy. And the interesting part with such kinds of people is that they won't even pay you anything reasonable.
Exactly. I was just about to
I
say
don't know if I'm
that.
lying. They will not pay you.
All those
They will not
people,
pay you
they
for all
are
your
cheap
headache.
clients. And the problem with keeping up with that is that if you keep working for such clients, you will only keep attracting such type of clients. So you don't want to work with
Of course,
those type
of
of
course.
clients. Yeah, definitely.
So it's important. It's important for you to note that. You understand. So then number 7 is that in the event where you have agreed, let's say you have agreed, you have understood the client's brief and all of the things and all of that, and you started the implementation of what was agreed upon, and maybe there's a change, maybe something came up and you need to make certain changes. Please carry your client along. Some persons have the habit of ignoring their clients. Some have the habit of ignoring their. After all, the clients will understand and they'll boom, implement those things. And before you know it, the clients would reject. Sometimes they reject not because what you did was wrong, as in not because the changes you made were wrong, not because they were wrong, but because they felt slighted. They felt slighted. I said verbal and non-verbal. So what you do and don't do count. I don't know. I don't know if it is that difficult. What you do and don't do counts. It speaks. It communicates. You understand? Like for example, now I know that for some of our brothers in the western part, if you see your elder and you just woke up in the morning and you just got up and went to brush your teeth and you just left without greeting anybody, and you come across some other elders on the street or in the road and you decide not to greet them and you just walk past them and all of that, that will communicate to them disrespect. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So did you insult them? No. But that act of just passing by without greeting to them is an act of disrespect. So what you say or what you don't say counts. What you do or what you don't do counts. So please carry your clients along. Even if you eventually discover that, oh, the wordings were wrong, please inform them. And not just inform them, get their buying. Let them tell you, yes, okay, go ahead before you do that. So that their buying can now be used as your own defense should anything happen.
Hmm.
It is very,
Hmm.
very
And
important.
we have
Now,
10
number
minutes
8.
left. We have 10
Oh,
minutes
okay.
left.
So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In rounding up, okay, number eight is that if you can put all of these agreements in a document, put all of them in a document, write them out, let both of you sign. And what I know that some people do is that the way they collect their client brief, they do that in the form of questionnaire, where they ask you certain things, certain questions, or some of them would maybe will give you certain information, to ask you for certain information about a particular project. Like for a flyer, they have a customized questionnaire that they will give to you. So you just answer, you just fill in all of the details, and with that they can work with it. All right. So if you can, let both parties sign. That signature is your security, is their own security. So that should anything happen tomorrow, nobody's praying for anything bad, but we're anticipating that anything can happen. All right. So you do that. So in conclusion, I want you to understand that um, communication starts from the first day you have your first contact with your client, and how you handle that first contact will determine what would happen in the course of conversing with them up until the point of delivering their jobs to them. That's if they find you worthy of giving you the job. So you want to ensure that your first impression is properly handled. You want to ensure that the first meeting you have with them, you give them the right impression, because it is with that impression that they are going to communicate with you. It is that impression that they're going to handle the whole process with you up until the end. I hope this makes so much sense. All right, so it's time for your question.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. That was
You're welcome.
highly insightful and
Thank you.
packed with value and useful information. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you once again for honoring the invite and doing this with us. So, guys, what's it called? We are over. We have spent over an hour already. So, what you guys? So, your questions now, yeah. So, any questions that you want, quickly drop it. You can use your mic, you can unmute and use your mic, or you drop it in the chat section so that Mr. Simon Matthew can quickly touch on that before we call it a night.
Guys, ask your question. I like when people ask. Don't just assume that, oh, this was what he meant. If you're not clear
Exactly.
about any concept, please feel free to ask. All right? Go ahead.
Yes.
What is your
Ab-
question?
So you talked about the brief aspects. What if the client doesn't understand anything about the brief or something like that? Just maybe, for example, the client give someone a name now, maybe Pure Empire, that he wants for tailoring or something like that. Can someone bring up an idea about the brief? Maybe the client just give someone give me the color now, just the color brand and other things, but he doesn't understand anything about brief or something like that. So can designer bring up some ideas to the logo and present it to the person?
Okay, to answer you straight up, what is even a brief, if you may ask? A brief is simply that the information that the client gives about a particular job. That's the simplest definition of a brief. Now, the brief can be, permit me to say this, the brief can be formal and it can be informal. Formal in the sense that, okay, this guy is a sophisticated, it's an educated person. That's the client now. He's sophisticated, educated. So he's been able to put his thoughts in a written format, and he gives to you, or she gives to you. On the other hand, we have more of people who will just even tell you word of mouth, who call you, for example, everything lofty. Please help me design one logo. My name na Pels Empire, and I dey sell clothes, shoes, blah blah blah, this and that. The- that is a brief. So it is now left for you now to now write write the information out. You understand? Write the information out. Then, once you're done writing the information out, by way of cross checking to be sure that what you heard, the information that was given to you is correct, you will just re echo what was written to the hearing, or just send it as a form of text if they can read. send that form of text that, okay, did you actually mean this? I should do this, and this. If they say, oh, if they say yes, whether it mustn't be something like, it mustn't be bulky, or it mustn't be something that they must generate. You can self-generate it. The essence of the brief is to know exactly what you have been asked to do. I don't know if that answers your question.
So I guess praise and Huanquo have 100% understanding of what was taught tonight, isn't it? Praise.
One was very quiet.
I guess I guess I
I
guess
do.
is I guess Huanquo
I
cannot
do. I do
use his
understand.
mic tonight. So what did you say, praise? You understand everything that was said, yeah? So you can teach me after this class now. If I ask you to come and teach me, you can teach
No,
me. You can't.
please, please. I do understand. Like his way of teaching is actually very understandable. So
All
I
right.
Oh,
think
thank
that
you very,
makes it easier for you to understand what he's saying.
All right.
So it's not like
That's
thank you very
maybe
much. Thank
we don't have questions or something, but the teaching is very like he made it very easy to understand. So I
okay.
think
So
that's
thank
why.
thank you
if
very
you
much.
have a question, if you have any question though, like you can still ask the questions. Like the questions might be some of the questions that maybe some people that probably will be watching the replay of this session might have in mind,
Right.
but they are not here live now to ask the question. So you can ask the question on their behalf if you think there is something that you feel like someone might want to know more about. Is there any of that?
Okay, let me ask. You mentioned that for instance, you were talking about logo design and then the mock-up that everybody uses nowadays, and you advise that we work some of the designers should actually walk away from people who insist that logos should be done with mock-ups, 3D, whatever. What would uh upcoming designers do in this case? Because some of them are depending on the pay they get, and in as much as it's hard, and I know it helps you build integrity in your what you do, your value and all. But when somebody is not doesn't have maybe any other source of income or something like that, what do they do actually? Because you starting newly, it's really hard to put yourself out there, and then what can that person do?
Okay. That's a pretty tricky question. The question I would have loved to ask such kinds of persons would be, what kind of designer do you want to become? Because one of the major challenge we have as designers is substandard design.
Oh, network.
Problem.
Network is breaking. I want to capture that moment, but the network is breaking. Carry on, sir. You said one of the
What I
major.
said, one of the major problem we have in the design industry is that we have a lot of substandard designers.
Exactly.
We have people who have no business designing. And the truth of the matter is this: designing, graphic designing is a profession. You understand? It is a profession. So the question is, do you want to be perceived as a professional, or do you just want to be seen as one of those hustlers? You understand? Because if you can stoop so low to the point that you are not willing to comply with certain standards in the industry, then I doubt if you are going to thrive in the industry.
Hmm.
And this has nothing to do with whether or not this has nothing to do with the amount of time you have spent in the industry. This has nothing to do with that. So here's what I would advise such kinds of people: to, in order for you not to be tempted to resort to doing stooping so low as to beginning to do certain things that are not up to standard, what I would encourage you to do is, while you are trying to build your career as a graphic designer, have something on the side that you are doing that is giving you money. Now, how would you feel? Because what you do or don't do has ripple effects. I don't know if anybody's hearing me. What you
Mm-hmm.
do or don't do have ripple effects. Do you understand? It has ripple effect, and the effect is, the effect may not necessarily be on you alone. It may also spill over onto other people. Like for example, because some clients think that a logo can be designed for 1,000 naira. There are some of them that when you tell them that I want to do a logo design for you and I'm going to charge you 50,000 is the minimum I'm going to collect. There are some of them that will see you as a thief. I don't know if Mr. Dafresh has come across, or any of you have come across,
I haven't come across one in a
this thing
very
is too
long time,
expensive.
but way back, yes. Some people used to call me.
You understand?
Some people used to think I was being unrealistic, right?
Thank you very much.
God's so good
So
now.
so
I hardly get those clients anymore.
thank you very much. So, and another thing you need to understand is what kind of clientele do you want to build? It is important. These things are very important. So the foundation is very important. If you are going to start out simply because, oh, hungry they catch me, so I will just collect anything and just do anything. The truth of the matter is, some of these works will be put out there. Words would also follow these works. And guess what? If they ask them, oh, who did this thing to you? Who did this thing for you? They will say, it's praise that did it. You understand? It's praise that did it. Before you know, they would also come.
Praise, don't go and
Who
do
did
it,
this thing
oh.
for you?
Praise, don't join Curtis, oh.
I-
Don't go and do
I'm
it,
just,
oh.
I'm just, it's just an example. It's just an example. So before you know, before you know, that's how words will keep spreading. And before you know, you have already built a kind of clientele that even you yourself are not proud of. You should be able to get to a point where you are able to show off your work, and when people see the works like this, they are like, "Wow, this is powerful." Even within the design community, you understand. So the question simply I would like to ask all kinds of people is, what kind of designer do you want to become? Second, that's first. Number two is, what kind of clientele do you want to build? Do you want to build a clientele of people who I see them as nuisance as clients? Nuisance as clients. Is it that kind of community, that those kinds of persons you want to gather? You understand? And I want you to know that you are not you are not commissioned for everybody. Let us all have this rule. You are not commissioned for everybody. And set certain rules within your profession. If certain persons are not willing and ready to conform to the standards that you operate with, please walk away. That is why I advise that please get something on the side. For me, I have something on the side that I also do. Beyond, I train, I do other things. You heard the introduction, I paint, you understand, I install wallpaper, and I'm not ashamed saying these things. These things are some of the things that pay me. So if I see somebody want to design today, I would stay and tell you this is what I can take. I cannot go below this. If it's okay by you, we'll go. It's not okay. It's not pride. It is setting standards for yourself. So that when you are involved in any project, when people see you that you identify with that project, they will be excited that you are doing something good. I don't know if this makes any sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense. Does makes a lot of
Thank you,
sense.
sir.
And I guess that is where we are going to draw the curtain tonight. And
All
once
right.
again, thank you very much for
Okay,
showing
thank
up.
you, Praise.
Um, so please, what is kindly drop your social media handle so that people can reach out to you, so that they can reach you. They will be able to reach you, connect with you
Okay.
from there, and So kindly give us your handles, please, and any
Okay.
other means
You
of
can
contact.
you can reach out to me with www.facebook.com/I am Simon Matthew, one word.
Can somebody
and
put
all
that
in
in the
small
chat,
letters.
please?
www.facebook.com/, I am Simon Matthew, all in one word. Then on Instagram, www.instagram.com/, oh, beautiful. Thank you, Praise. www.instagram.com/Simon Matthew.
All right.
Then I'm on Twitter, even though I'm not active there. You can reach out with at Zion City oh 06. I think those are the channels through which you can reach out to me.
All
But
right.
fantastic, everything. Thank
All
you.
right. That's a beautiful one. So guys, do well
Thank you.
to go and connect with uh Coach Simon Matthew. Do well to go and connect with
Thank you, sir.
him both on Facebook and Instagram. And then also, what's it called? I wanted to rant tonight. I did been we have a much fuller house, but I'm still going to rant because some of you are still going to watch the replay of this video, which is we have a community of over 500 people, and on YouTube
Wow.
we only have 200 subscribers on YouTube, right?
Wow.
Another thing now, another thing is that you guys don't usually comment. When you guys watch replays, you don't comment, you don't like those videos. I'm being entitled.
That's not good.
I'm being entitled right now. I'm coming full force with sense of entitlement. You guys should start
Very
liking.
good.
You guys should start commenting.
Yes.
You guys should start subscribing to that
Subscribe.
YouTube channel,
Share it. Share too. Share
right?
too.
You should
Don't forget
share
to share.
too. What's it called? Because we
Then turn
what's
on
it
your
called?
notifications.
Initially, I was not really very heavy on building the YouTube channel, but I kind of feel like I think it's going to make a lot of sense when the
Actually.
YouTube channel grows, because it means that all of these things will be pushed out to people, and then we'll be able to make bigger impact beyond the WhatsApp
Actually.
group and all of that. So I think that is one area that I'm trying to channel energy to, and so I want you guys to also contribute to that as well. So also remember, I said that I want you guys to start making notes. Start making notes on. Okay, I'll drop my handle in a sec. In a sec, please just hold on. So I want you guys to start making notes of our sessions, right? Like just make your own notes, what you understand, what you learn, your takeaway, and all of that, right? So I'm going to create that form. Hopefully tonight, I'm going to drop the link in the group for you guys, so the this thing will be there. So I'll make it easy for you, so that you just put your this thing there. Your name is your name is going to be there. I won't tell you what that stuff will be used for, but it's going to be used for something very meaningful, and that's going to be helpful and beneficial to everybody. But most importantly, the motive is to encourage you guys to take notes, because when you take notes, it allows you to to fully understand what it is that you are learning. So that is the basic motive behind that, right? And there is one other thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember right now. Maybe some other time I will talk about that. So don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Those who are watching the replay right now, you that you are on YouTube watching the replay right now, subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop a comment, hit the like button. Let this video have 100 likes, right? Let us hit 100 likes within few days or a week, so that YouTube can start pushing our content out. I want to blow, right? So also go and follow Design Beyond Art on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Design Beyond Art. So I recently realized that design for Instagram, the handle is design. The N is double N, right? So in case you are just searching for Design Beyond Art on Instagram, make sure that you include double N, like the DESI double NG, right? That is the design, and then Beyond Art on Instagram. And also my Facebook, my this thing, sorry, my personal and my personal handle, yeah. So the reason I don't usually share my personal handle anymore is because I feel like I don't want to confuse you guys too much. Yeah. You know I'm a man of many hats. Sure, you understand, because I do music, I do a couple other things. So what's it called? My personal stuff is more of music than design. Sure, you understand. Although on Facebook I try to combine everything together, but on Instagram I decided to only keep my music page on Instagram. I don't want to scatter my brain with so many page, right? So on Instagram is that fresh Olorin, that fresh Olorin. Let me also do www.instagram instagram.com/that fresh Olorin. So for those of you who don't understand Yoruba, Olorin means the one that sings. The one that sings.
Yeah.
That is what Olorin means, right? So that fresh Olorin on
I
Instagram.
just followed your Instagram now. I
Oh,
just followed
okay. You mean the
the
design
design beyond
beyond
art
art? Okay,
on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah. The
Yeah, I just
communities
followed
page.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right away.
So that is my personal Instagram handle. It's the same thing on Twitter, Facebook, Facebook page. The Facebook page also is a fresh learning. But my personal Facebook profile is what's it called? The fresh Damilola Emmanuel, right? A fresh Damilola Emmanuel. Let me put that there. Damilola Emmanuel. Yeah, the fresh Damilola Emmanuel on on what's it called? The fresh Damilola Emmanuel on Facebook, right? So my this thing, my Instagram is that fresh Olorin. Facebook, Twitter, that fresh Olorin. Yeah. My Facebook profile, that one that people used to send me friend requests. I don't know if people can still send me friend requests though. If you can, you try sending me friend requests. If you can, I will accept. Right. If you can't, just follow me because I think I've reached my limit. I don't know anymore. So that is those are my handles. If you need any other thing, you can what's it called? Chat me up via WhatsApp. I know those of you who are here, you came from the WhatsApp group, so my number is there. Just chat me up privately and discuss whatever you want to discuss with me. But don't try to extort me too much, because my time is worth money. Sure you understand. so so that's how we are going to call it a night. And I know there's one other thing I wanted to say, but unfortunately I just cannot remember. So that is going to be for another time. So that's how we're going to draw the curtain. Thank you, Sir Mr. Simon Matthew, for showing up. Thank you guys for also tuning in. And once again, I go by the name Damilola, but you can call me that fresh. So maybe you guys should start adding Olorin to it now. Sure you understand. You can now start adding that fresh Olorin. You can start adding Olorin to that fresh now if you want to. Sure you understand. And so bye for now. Bye for now. Good night, everybody. Good night.
All right. God bless you all.